Hey, welcome back to Say It Real, where fluency starts with real conversations.
Today's topic is honestly kind of fascinating.
Yeah, because we're diving into the way AI, like ChatGPT, is changing how we talk.
Seriously, words like delve, tapestry, and nuance are everywhere now.
So let's learn how to sound more natural, up to date, and, well, like it's 2025.
So, true story. I was helping my friend write an email to her manager,
Uh oh.
and she was like, I want to sound smart, but not fake. And then she added this line, and I swear I almost laughed. She said, I delved into the issue and uncovered some nuances. I was like, whoa.
I mean, that's very 2025 of her.
Right? But here's the thing. It sounded good. Like, it didn't feel forced at all. It just, fit.
Okay, so let's try this out in a common scenario. Imagine you're at work, right? And someone comes up to you and asks, hey, how's that report coming along? What's a really natural, sort of 2025 way to respond, especially if it was a bit complicated?
Hmm. Okay, instead of just, it's fine, or it's taking a while, you could say, it's a lot, actually. I had to delve into some complex data, more than I expected.
Boom, see? Delve into. Just like that. It immediately tells them you went deep. It wasn't just a quick glance, you explored it. It sounds committed.
Exactly. And it's not trying too hard. It just sounds like you're being honest about the process. Or what if the project itself feels a bit overwhelming because of all the interconnected parts?
Oh, I know this one. You could say, honestly, the whole project feels like a bit of a tangled tapestry right now. Lots of moving parts?
Yes, tangled tapestry. That's such a great image. It doesn't just say it's complicated, it paints a picture of that complexity, that intertwining. It suggests there's a certain beauty to it, maybe, but also that it's intricate.
Yeah, it's not just the messy heap of stuff, it's a tapestry. It implies design, even if it's tangled. It shows a level of, I don't know, conceptual understanding.
Right. And then for nuance, this one's huge. You're in a meeting, someone's simplifying an issue, and you know there's more to it.
You could interject, actually, I think there's a nuance here that people might be missing. Or, we need to consider the nuances of this situation before we decide.
Perfect. Because nuance tells people you're not just looking at the surface, you're seeing the subtle differences, the small but important distinctions. It really conveys thoughtful consideration.
And that's the thing. These words, when you sprinkle them in naturally, they don't just sound smart or like you're trying to impress someone with big vocabulary. They actually help you express depth. They help you communicate more precisely what's going on in your head.
They do. Like, if you say, I delved into the data, it's more specific than I looked at the data. Looked at could mean 5 minutes. Delved into implies hours, effort.
Yeah, it's about conveying genuine engagement. Or with tapestry, you're not just saying it's complex, you're saying it's interconnected complexity. There's a structure, but it's hard to unravel.
Exactly. And with nuance, it's about seeing the shades of gray, not just black and white. It shows you're not oversimplifying things, which is so important in, you know, almost any conversation these days.
Totally. It signals that you're thinking critically. It's not about showing off. It's about clarity and a more profound level of communication. These words, they're tools, like good tools. And when you pick the right tool for the job, your message just lands better.
It really does. It gives your words more weight, more credibility, and frankly, more humanity. It makes your conversation feel richer, if that makes sense.
It totally makes sense. It's about being articulate, but like effortlessly articulate. Not like you swallowed a dictionary, but like you just naturally process things with a little more depth.
And that's what makes it sound so 2025, as we said. It's like you're embracing the new way of communicating, but you're doing it in a way that feels authentic to you. So get this. There's actually a really interesting psychological insight behind all of this. A recent study says People using ChatGPT like tools, these AI language models, they're actually starting to mirror the language patterns that they see in the AI's output.
Which honestly makes total sense, right? We're reading more and more text that's incredibly polished, very thoughtful, very complete.
Exactly. It's like our brains are picking up on these patterns because we're exposed to them so much. So when AI uses words like delve or nuance, we subconsciously start adopting them because they sound, well, good. They sound effective.
Yeah, it's almost like a natural osmosis of language. You read it, you hear it, and then it just starts appearing in your own speech.
Totally. But here's the trick, the really important part. Don't overuse these words. It's not about trying to sound like a robot or like a textbook. It's about sprinkling them in.
Right, think of it like seasoning when you're cooking. You don't dump the whole spice rack into the meal, do you? You add a little bit here, a little bit there, just enough to enhance the flavor.
Exactly. You sprinkle them in naturally. A little delve here, a little nuance there. It's not the whole meal. It's just the seasoning that makes it, taste better.
And it makes your conversation richer, more flavorful, if we stick with the food analogy. It's about enhancing what you're already saying, not replacing it with something entirely different.
And it's really important because if you force it, or if you try to use 5 elevated words in every single sentence, it just sounds unnatural. It sounds like you're trying too hard to impress. And that's the opposite of sounding authentic.
Yeah, you don't want to sound like you just swallowed a thesaurus, right? It should feel effortless. The goal isn't to show off your vocabulary, it's to express yourself more precisely and, honestly, more impressively, but naturally.
Absolutely. It's about making your communication more effective and more reflective of, like, deeper thought, not just, throwing around big words for the sake of it. Okay, so now that we've talked about, the why and the how much, let's get into some actual, like, real life strategies you can use starting today to elevate your language naturally.
Yes, because it's not just about knowing the words, it's about knowing how to actually use them without sounding like you're trying too hard.
Exactly. So, strategy number 1, start simple, then just add one elevated word. Don't try to change your whole sentence, just one word.
So, for example, if you would normally say, I looked into it, you could just elevate that slightly to, I delved into it. It's a small change, but it really makes a difference.
See? It's not a huge leap, it's just one little step up. I looked into it becomes I delved into it. And it sounds more, thoughtful.
Yeah, it implies a bit more effort, a bit more depth to your investigation. It's subtle, but effective.
Okay, strategy number 2. Pair those advanced words with emotion. This is super important because it makes the language feel human, not robotic.
That's a great point. So if you say, I delved into it, you can add, and I felt kind of overwhelmed by what I found.
Yes, so you're not just saying, I delved into it like a machine. You're adding like a personal touch, a feeling. I delved into the issue, and honestly, I felt a little overwhelmed. It makes it relatable.
It totally does. It adds that human element, that emotional resonance that makes your communication much more impactful. It's not just information, it's an experience you're sharing.
And our third strategy, practice with analogies. We talked about tangled tapestry earlier, right? It's a great example.
Yeah, like if you're trying to describe a really complex problem at work, instead of just saying it's complicated, you could say the whole project feels like a tangled tapestry.
Exactly, because what does that immediately make you think of? It's not just complicated, it's interwoven, it's messy, it's hard to pull apart. It instantly creates a picture in someone's mind.
And that's what good communication does, right? It helps people visualize what you're trying to explain. Analogies stick in people's minds.
They absolutely do. So, if you're describing something with a lot of moving parts or something intricate, thinking of a simple analogy like a tangled tapestry can really help convey that complexity without just using jargon. It paints a picture.
Okay, so we've talked about the strategies, and now it's time to actually put them into practice a little bit. We're going to do a quick guided repetition exercise.
This is where you, our amazing listeners, get to physically say these phrases out loud. Don't be shy. Seriously, it makes a huge difference.
Exactly. So we'll say a phrase, and we'll leave a little pause for you to repeat it after us. Get ready.
Here's the first one, using delve. I had to delve into the numbers.
Your turn.
Good. Okay, next one, focusing on nuance. There's a nuance I don't think people see.
Go for it.
Perfect. Now let's try that tangled tapestry analogy. It's like a tangled tapestry of issues.
Repeat after us.
Awesome. Now, connecting with emotion using overwhelmed. Honestly, I felt overwhelmed but learned a lot.
Give it a try.
That's great. And finally, a useful phrase we've seen a lot lately using unpack. Let me unpack this a little more.
Your turn.
You got it. How did that feel? Even just saying them once or twice out loud really helps them start to feel more natural on your tongue.
It totally does. And the more you practice these, the more easily they'll just, flow out in your real conversations. It builds that muscle memory. All right, speaking of feeling natural, it's time for a quick fun quiz.
We love these. It's a true or false listening quiz to see how much of today's insights have really sunk in.
Exactly. We'll give you a statement, and you just decide true or false.
Okay, first one. True or false? You should try to use 5 advanced words in every single sentence you speak.
False.
Definitely false. No, that would sound very much like a robot, not like 2025.
Not natural at all. All right, next one. True or false? Using tapestry is a good way to describe something that's complex or has many interconnected parts.
What do you think? True or false?
That's true.
It really is. It paints such a clear picture, doesn't it?
It does. Last one for you. True or false? Using the word nuance helps you show emotional depth or a subtle understanding of a situation.
Take a moment to think. True or false?
That's 100% true.
It absolutely is. It's all about showing that subtle understanding, that deeper grasp. How did you do? Hopefully you got them all right. Let's recap some of those powerful words we talked about today, the ones that are kind of popping up everywhere.
Yeah, the ones that help you sound more current.
First up, we had delve. That's like really looking into something deeply.
And nuance for those subtle differences or shades of meaning. So important.
Then tapestry, which we learned is perfect for describing something complex with lots of intertwined parts.
And how about overwhelmed? That feeling when there's just so much happening. It's an important emotional word.
Totally. And finally, unpack for breaking down a topic or an idea.
These words, they're not just fancy, right? They're powerful if you use them right, if you sprinkle them in thoughtfully and correctly.
Exactly. It's about expressing yourself with more precision and depth without, sounding like a dictionary. So, as we wrap things up today, just remember you don't need to sound like a robot or a textbook, okay?
Seriously, the goal here isn't to be perfect. It's to sound like you, but with, a slightly elevated voice, more confident.
Exactly. Take these modern expressions we talked about, like delve or tapestry, and just sprinkle them in when it feels right.
And don't forget, true fluency, it's not about perfection at all. It's really about connection. It's about communicating clearly and making those real connections with people.
It's about sounding like yourself, only, a little bit more articulate, if that makes sense. Thanks for joining us today.
Absolutely. We hope this helped you feel more confident about speaking like it's 2025.
See you next time on Say It Real.